Begin transmission. Hello, everybody. It is Chris, Milton, and Ben here back again. Let's see if I remember how to do this thing. It's been a couple weeks. It took a couple weeks, guys. It's the doldrums of summer. We are in the thick of it, but we are back because we have updates from San Diego Comic-Con 2025. We have a bunch of Star Wars updates and some other little things and tidbits we've learned along the way since we've last broadcasted. We now have the married man, Milton Weber, on the podcast in the lead up to his big wedding. Looking forward to that. So first of all, how is it being a wedded man? First of all.
I mean, it feels great. The only difference is that I'm legally now married, as you see. It feels great, man. It's been a hell of a ride, a hell of a transition. Very much a lot of talking, a lot of handshaking, hugging, moving, transition, as you guys hopefully will eventually experience in the next year or so. I know, Chris, you've been in a long-term relationship.
I don't know about that.
It should be your turn soon.
Chris's girlfriend better get ready then, I guess.
I'm about to say, yeah. So Chris will be next in line, and hopefully Ben, you'll be the same way soon in the next year or so if you're with a lady that's long-term. But yeah, it's been a blessing. It's been a transition. Right now, as you see, I'm in a new quote-unquote setup or studio. But yeah, I'm now in my wife's house. Been making that move over, but it's been good. I'm glad to be back on the podcast. Hopefully, with summer going on, I can actually be more consistent, being back on the podcast and just talking some Star Wars because I do miss it.
Oh yeah, so you had sent us a couple photos that were Star Wars adjacent. Let's hear about those because there's some fun stuff you had going on there.
So as everyone who knows me, I'm a huge Star Wars guy, obviously. I mean, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, whatever. That's my childhood. Wrestling, you know, R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. You know, he lost him this week. But yeah, huge Star Wars guy, as you know. And so my childhood friends growing up, they got me a Star Wars gift. Now, I put this on our wedding registry, you know, and mostly if you know what a wedding registry is, it's usually household appliances, things that typically you're supposed to use for your house, whatever, sink stuff, bathroom stuff, you know. But of course, I asked for a lightsaber and a wrestling belt. My wife's good friend got me a wrestling belt, which I'm like, great. But I decided, well, I'm gonna throw a lightsaber on there too, and I asked for the Kylo Ren Black Saber or Black Series lightsaber. And as you would see, my boys got me the Black Series lightsaber, Kylo Ren.
Nice.
That's awesome.
There we go. It's here. Also, they got me a Kylo Ren mask that goes with it. So I told my wife for Halloween this year, I'm Kylo Ren because I have my Jedi cloak here, or my
hell yeah
cloak right here. Also, I have a Luke Skywalker Black Series saber and a Luke Skywalker Green saber,
dude.
So she's going to be a
Jedi. Up.
Yeah, she's going to be a Jedi for Halloween. I'm going to be a Sith. So there we go. Yeah. So,
Yep.
We're coming prepared.
Yep. Hashtag ignite the green. You gotta love the Luke Skywalker green lightsaber. I have the Black Series one as well. I know. Ben, do you have that one as well?
I don't have the green. I have the blue. The classic, the blue one, the Disney Parks one. It's like a metal handle lightsaber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, so here's the thing, because like the Black Series saber is really like I've actually enjoyed them. I had the blue, Luke, and green for the last couple years, and I wanted to get the Kylo Ren. I want to get the Mace Windu, the Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I want to get probably Palpatine saber and Darth Maul.
I would love to find Mauls.
Yeah, and I want to get the Darksaber eventually. But yeah, so they threw that on my wedding registry, or they bought it for me. They surprised me about it at my wedding. My friend's like, yeah, this is too big to put in the gift pile, so we're going to give it to you directly. So they gave it to me before the ceremony. We took wedding photos with them. Our photographer has a really dope photo of my wife with the saber, and I'm using the Force with the Kylo Ren mask. It's pretty impressive.
Ooh.
So can't wait for those professional photos to come out. And he used this special lighting to illuminate the saber even more. So I can't wait
Ooh.
to see those photos.
Oh man, there's nothing like enhancing the look, and they do such a good
Yeah.
job with the Black Series already with how they illuminate by
Yes.
themselves, and then you just enhance it. Oh man,
Right.
it's gonna look like you're on this like behind the scenes shot of some unnamed Star Wars movie.
Yes. Yeah, I was excited. So my wife's already like, well, where are we going to display them? Because it's
Yep.
actually her idea to get like stands.
Yeah.
'Cause I know with like they get the little like clear stands that come with them, but she wants to get like the standing stands you put on the walls, where you
Mm-hmm.
can put it on the wall, like ignite it and be kind of cool looking whenever people come over. So
Oh.
she's actually wanting me to find something like that eventually. So I told her once we find a house together, we'll probably look into that and to display the sabers. But I'm not done. I want to collect at least 3 or 4 more, and then I'm done.
Oh yeah, there's countless ones out there, and like my
Yeah.
co-host Matthew over on the Tractor Beam every week we talk about comics. He had just gone to Disneyland and he had picked up the Stellan Skars. No, why am I saying Stellan Skarsgård? Oh my gosh, that's the actor. Stellan Geos from Star Wars: The High Republic books and
Yeah.
comics. They have the cross-guard blue lightsaber there, so he's
Hmm.
psyched that he bought that. But yeah, it's insane how many different variations, and every 6 months they're announcing a new one. So you'll never really have them all because there's always more coming out. But yeah,
Right.
no, I'm really happy to hear that everything went off without a hitch. It's been a
Yeah, it
long
went
run
great.
up, but everything sounds like it went off even better than maybe was expected. So that's even better to know.
Yeah, it was excellent. We only had one hiccup. It rained for like 30 minutes, but people keep telling me that that's a good sign on the wedding day, which, still knock on wood, our
Yep.
marriage has been very, very positive. We have a great relationship, obviously, but, her and I are just two low key nerds when it comes to our own individual stuff. Like she's a Bachelor in Paradise or,
Oh yeah.
Love is Blind type nerd. I'm a Star Wars, Marvel, DC type, but, she's into Star Wars, like in her own way. She knows the characters. She knows who they are, and she has her favorites. She's a
Hmm.
huge Chewie fan. She
Oh.
loves Han Solo. And anytime we travel, I always tell her, I'm like, I love that you're a great Chewbacca because she's always trying to navigate. So like that's her role. She's our navigator when we travel. So
Oh man.
she's Chewie. She's Chewie on our road trips.
I never thought about my girlfriend like that, but I would have to steal that because she's basically a navigator as
Yeah.
well. She's always got the
Yes.
GPS going,
Yeah.
turn here, go there. I'm like, why did I ever think of
Yep. Yeah.
that?
Yeah. She's Chewie except for she's less hairy, more beautiful. She actually can speak, basic, which is great. And she tries to do a Chewie impression, which is horrific, but
Hmm.
that's what makes her who she is.
There you go. Oh man, yeah. We wish you guys the best of luck. I don't know how to follow that up with my week in Star Wars because honestly, I have just a bunch of nerd stuff to talk about. Where it's like, hey, I was at this new game shop at a mall that's nearby with my
Mm.
buddy Evan, and we were playing Star Wars Legion. And be it at a game store inside of a mall, you get a lot more foot traffic going, oh, what's this place? And oh, are these guys playing Star Wars? Like, we got so many people in there. It was a great time. It was a great time. Everybody walking up. Oh, what are you guys playing? Star Wars, Stormtroopers. Ooh, Wookiees. Ooh, So it was good to, definitely got a lot more people like interested in playing the game, which is good for the store. It's like free publicity. It's like, hey, let me play my game at your store. You guys will sell more products, and it's a win-win for everybody. So
Yeah.
that was simply put, fun times there. I know Ben, you had something to do with a DC Star Wars crossover you wanted to mention this week.
Oh yeah. I mean, first of all, my quick 15-second Superman review.
Oh yeah.
Amazing movie. I think it's to me, I think it's I have to reminisce on it a little more, but I think it could be the greatest Superman movie ever because I think it's the most well-rounded overall for the character and the action and everything. But to transition from that, yeah, my week in Star Wars actually has to do with David Cornsweet, the actor that plays Superman. So,
Mhm.
every actor, it doesn't matter who it is. You can ask them, "Oh, do you like Star Wars?" And of course, everyone says yes because they want to get into Star Wars, get a nice fat check, and be a part of the Star Wars universe. But the cool thing with David Cornsweet, he actually is like an actual nerd, like in the weeds, like us three are, and our listeners to the podcast are. Like there was like a whole montage clip out there, like a 5-minute montage clip of him just like nerding out about Star Wars. Like he has the entire trench run completely memorized from start to finish, like the sound effects, the lines, everything. And then even he like is so in the weeds. He has like he has that he gave a whole day explanation of like why Qui-Gon would have been better for Anakin and everything.
Oh my
to train
gosh.
him.
Yeah.
Like he went that into the weeds about Qui-Gon, and then he gave a really fascinating way to look at the watch order of Star Wars actually. And I never thought of it from like this view. So he said you should watch 1 through 6, 4, 5, and then watch 1, 2, and 3 as like a pseudo flashback to Anakin. And then the payoff for Return of the Jedi is better because you get to see Anakin come full circle after seeing like everything he went through and all that stuff. And Corn Sweat like talked all about that. And like he's like a complete like into the weeds nerd, like all of us are. And it was crazy. It was so cool seeing him. And I mean, I'm sure Milton, you've seen that clip float around Instagram of him talking about Qui-Gon and Anakin. And it's fire. Like I love seeing that.
See, this is why. Look, when it comes to the movie itself, we can talk about Superman on another day. We might have a different opinion about that. Just saying, spoiler. But like Corn Sweat himself, I really like him because 1, he is a good actor. 2, he's a Philly boy, and he loves the Eagles. Okay, he talks about that all the time. Yeah, huge Eagles guy. That's my love for him. And 2, you're right. His Star Wars knowledge, love it. He's a true fan, and I think we need to push to get him into Star Wars. Well, it's not even a question here. He understands. You know who he reminds me of? Sam Witwer. When his knowledge, how he articulates understanding the property of Star Wars, the intricacies of Star Wars, the minutia, how it all comes together, and the mythos. For him to sit there to talk about Qui-Gon Jinn's sacrifice and how we know if Qui-Gon lives, Anakin don't become Darth Vader. Like he would have helped Anakin understand his dark side in the Force. He would have controlled it better. He would have used it in a way that would have been good. He would have helped Anakin see both the good and the dark and the light. And he was pretty much a great Jedi in a lot of ways. But he understood the corruption, and we get that. And I liked how Corn Sweat's like, yes, Qui-Gon's the guy. He's the duel of the fate. You know what I'm saying? And for him to sit there and articulate that and break it down, I love it. I'm thinking, he understands Star Wars. We got to get him in the films.
Oh, yeah. And one more thing, too, Chris, I think you'll find this crazy. So on the press lead up to the Superman premiere, mind you, he said it, like I said, on the press tour. He got asked, if he had the opportunity to play Superman in the next sequel that DC comes out with, the next iteration, whatever, after this movie launches, would you, if you had a choice to continue playing Superman in the upcoming DCU or be a Jedi in Star Wars, what would you be? And he was like, he thought about it, like he was just quiet for like 30 seconds, and he's like, I have to admit, like, if I had to pick just one, it would be a Jedi in Star Wars.
Really? I'm surprised he admitted that.
Dude,
yeah, he did.
Like, dude, his job is in jeopardy now.
No, it's not. Chris, no, it's not. Listen, that's the smartest answer he can give. Because literally, Disney's going to be like, look what he's done with the IP that was potentially on his last legs, and to how he's portrayed the character and everyone loves him. Could you imagine him help resurrecting Star Wars? Like he's already a fan. Like he understands the minutia and the mythos of Star Wars. Even James Gunn kind of said this, and whenever he talked about David Cornsweet questioning the Superman stuff, he's like, "Well, shouldn't this be like this?" And James is like, "Dude, just shut the hell up," because he understands. David understands the characters that he's playing. So right there, that tells you he'd be perfect for Star Wars because he would question. He would say, "And that might not fit to what Star Wars is about."
Kind of like Sam Witwer.
Yeah. And so if I'm Lucasfilm Disney, dude, you got he's hot right now. He can help resurrect not only one but 2 franchises, 2 IPs. Like imagine David Cornsweet next 3 years got Superman on his resume, check. oh, a Star Wars Night of the Old Republic or whatever, check. Or like, come on, man. And they both make a shit ton of money and reviewed by. Come on, like he can't be touched. Put
Yep.
him in there, safe bet. Disney, take advantage of this guy. He's a fan. He understands it, and I guarantee you, he'll say, "We got to give the fans what we want or what they want when it comes to this property." Because we all
Mm.
know right now, Star Wars is in a weird limbo.
Yep.
Yeah, it definitely
Oh, yeah.
is. It definitely is. We have more to touch on that soon in one of the stories, believe it or not. So, but yeah, no, that's definitely interesting. I like how you ask anybody, everybody's watched Star Wars that's in Hollywood. They always say, "Oh, I like Yoda. Oh, I like Return of the Jedi. Oh, I like this very surface level thing," which is fine. Like we all like that stuff, but for him to actually like question differences in reality of what happens versus somebody's
Right.
really into it when they do that. You're not getting everybody on the red carpet answering questions that way. It's like, okay, this
Yeah.
is on your mind a lot, obviously, which means yes, you
Right. Right.
are you are a step above the rest. And reminds me a little bit of Henry Cavill, and he was
Yep.
a prior Superman when it comes to the Witcher franchise, and him
Mhm.
questioning, and it's rumor, it's not official, that he might have left Witcher because he just couldn't agree with where the direction was going, and he loves the series too much, and it was like, I'd rather
Yeah.
step away than to see my beloved franchise go a direction with me a part of it in a different way. So I'm going to be a part of the Warhammer 40K universe now because I love that as
Yeah.
well, and now I get to actually lead that because I have enough of accolades built up to do that. So hey, that's
Right.
what's cool about Henry.
And here's the thing: respect to any actor or actress who decides to leave a property because hey, look, I creatively disagree with this, and I fundamentally believe that we should take it this direction because one, it respects the mythos of the IP, but also I know this won't be well received by the fans, so I'd rather walk away and say, hey, you know what? It is what it is. It's not personal. Y'all want to take it the character somewhere else? Walk away from it. Like I'm glad that Henry did that with Witcher, and I would understand if other actors do that with their properties that they know that are beloved. Like look at the Star Trek franchise. Could you imagine if Captain Kirk was not what he was supposed to be and Chris Pine staying? Chris Pine would be like, no, I'm out of here. Like this isn't
Yep.
Captain Kirk, bro. Like we know what this character is all about. So I mean, I get it. Kudos to them. But back to a non-Star Wars thing. Hear me out on this, Ben and Chris. Hear me out on this. I know this is it's a Star Wars, but for DCU, give me a second here. For the Batman casting, Henry Cavill.
What?
I've seen people talk about that. That would be.
Just,
I mean, he's
just
a
give me
good
that.
actor.
Give me that.
Well,
he has
Think
that-
about that.
He has that suaveness and the age because they're going Brave and the Bold, where they're I think
Yeah.
it's Damian Wayne they're going to have with it. So they need a Batman that's in his 40s like that. So
And I know that may sound crazy, but imagine Henry Cavill being the Batman, James Gunn using him correctly. I'm just saying that will help resurrect his image with Superman. Now, people loved him as Superman, but imagine that complete turnaround of like, okay, it's full circle. Just an idea.
Oh yeah, I think either Batman, or if not, Amazon needs to be throwing him all the money to play James Bond.
Oh
it.
yeah,
like that too. We already know that.
yeah. I see the highest running up people for that role, and it's not people I want to see as James Bond. If those rumors are true,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like 3 of them. One of them is Spider-Man. I'm like,
Tom Holland, no,
no.
No way.
nope,
Nope.
no
I
way.
couldn't get behind it.
As what's his name used to say on ESPN, no way, no how. I don't want to see it.
No.
Oh man, I'll be honest, guys. When Superman came out and there was like no Star Wars news, Ben, I know Milton, you were busy, but I was like, should we just do a Superman review this week? Because I have a lot to say.
Listen, I did see the movie, so we can do a review another day, and I do have some things to say about that. We'll leave that be.
Okay, well, we'll revisit that maybe at some point in the near future.
You have plenty of time.
Yeah, we have plenty of time, is right. But we're going to get into the show proper. We are live I don't want to say every Sunday because we've been a little bit off our schedule. Guys, it's the middle of summer here. We all have lives and we're all busy spending time with loved ones and outside and whatnot. So we can guarantee we're at least live once or twice a month right now for the month of the summers of summer here. The months of summer. There you go. See, I'm rusty at this apparently. But anyway, so you can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/Starrapter. And you can hit that notification bell so you'll know when we do happen to go live. And we also are available at your listening leisure on Outer Rim Transmission podcast. Just search that Outer Rim Transmission on any podcast streaming service that you use to find us there. But we love to have you guys live to participate actively in our Star Wars discussion. Getting into this week, we have just one single release, and it is Dr. Aphra, Chaos Agent number 2. Did not do the podcast with Matthew because, lucky for him, he's in San Diego, sunny San Diego at the Comic-Con. So he's going to be our guy on the streets telling us all the new stuff coming out on our next show on Wednesday coming up. So go over to the Star Wars Underworld YouTube channel and also subscribe there so you know when me and Matthew go live over there every Wednesday at 9 p.m. That being said, we're going to get into some old news. This is like 2 weeks old, but as always, it's always nice to see, and we're going to gloss over this very quick because there's not much to say about these. We got more Emmy nominations. We got more Emmy nominations for Star Wars, which is always a good thing. Andor has 14, and one of them is Outstanding Drama Series, Outstanding Production Design. We're going to go through all of them, might as well. Cinematography, costumes, directing, picture editing, music composition, original music and lyrics, outstanding guest actor with Forrest Whitaker, Saul Guerrero, outstanding character voiceover with Alan Tudyk. We have sound editing. We also have sound mixing, special visual effects, outstanding writing, pretty much everything except best actor and best actress, which is unfortunate because I would have liked to see Diego Luna at least get nominated for Best Actor, especially in those later episodes of the of the season 2. It was really good stuff, as well as Mon Mothma. Goodness, somebody help me here with her real name. Milan. I know.
Genevieve Riley.
There we go. How could I forget? So yeah, they got a little bit snubbed there on that one, but it's good to see that Andor with its second and final season really getting its accolades. I'm hoping they pull off like a Lord of the Rings Return of the King back in 2003 whenever that movie came out, when they basically swept the Oscars and got like every possible award, which was awesome.
Right.
So we'll see about that. It wasn't just them though. The Acolyte got nominated for sound editing, as well as music by John Williams. The great documentary. I don't know if we ever talked about it on here much, but really, really good stuff if you haven't seen. They got outstanding sound editing for that and outstanding sound mixing, which is great because it's all about music. So there you go. Does anybody have any thoughts on any of that?
Actually, yeah, we did talk about the music documentary. By the way, we did a full episode on that, actually, Chris.
Oh man, okay.
But so that's there for anybody if they want to hear our thoughts on that. But yeah, I think with Andor, even though I'm not a fan of the show, I can like see the quality of it and whatnot. And it was surprising to see Diego Luna not get nominated. Like, I could understand some of the other ancillary characters, but I think the reason why it's kind of like Milton, like in the NFL, like when you have like 3 or 4 good people on one team, it could water down the votes, where like maybe the Andor votes were spread out between like Diego and Genevieve and even the girl that plays Bix and people like that, versus all the credit going to like Diego Luna, for example. So I think that's a potential, since like it's an ensemble cast, I would say that's probably the reason why. But yeah.
I mean, it could be a possibility. I mean, I think I think for him to not be nominated is kind of a crime. It's a little sus to me, because he did hold down this show. Like this particular season was very much about Andor. In my opinion, I felt they did a good job focusing on him and his growth, as we thought they should have compared to season 1. But again, for him to not be in, like, he's a great actor. Diego Luna's a great actor. No matter what he does, he is that character. It's kind of a crime that he didn't get nominated. But you know what? It is what it is, man. It's about his legacy. He's always going to be known for that character. I think he's one of the Disney Star Wars era. He's one of those characters that actually people really enjoy. So I think that legacy outweighs him being nominated. I think
Yeah.
that's the takeaway.
Yeah, yeah. I think what it comes down to is it's not my idea. The guys over at the Star Wars Underworld, and I think that's their idea. It's like these awards are meant for most of the time these big pictures or big TV series that don't get a lot of viewership, that are very like crafty and very top tier as far as that regard, that they don't get all the views and stuff that like a Star Wars show or something would get. So that's like this is like their time to shine, because it's like, okay, maybe you missed this thing. Well, this is why I got all the awards. Now go watch it. Where it's like, yeah, Star Wars gets millions and millions of views every week. So it's like they already had their time to shine. It would be nice if they win an award. But honestly, at this point, we know how it goes. Like, they always get nominated every year, which is great. It used to never get
Right.
them nominated. Like, I remember back in the day, you would never see a sci-fi show ever in the running for any of this stuff. So the fact of the matter that's even on there with like 9 other, I don't even know who else is nominated. I haven't looked. I'm sure like The Bear and different things are probably on there. There are a lot of people talked about that one, but for me, it's just like cool. Like, Star Wars gets accolades. If it doesn't get them, hey, it's still a kick-ass show no matter what. That's not going to change my mind.
Right. No, I agree.
Yep. So we're gonna get into our topic of the evening. San Diego Comic-Con is actually, it might still be going on as we record this. It might be just about wrapping up at this point for Sunday. It was a little bit of a lower kind of thing this year. It wasn't as big. I guess you could say, because Marvel wasn't there. DC wasn't showing any big movies. They had like the Peacemaker season 2, which I can't wait for. By the way, that looks awesome. But other than
Right.
that, it
Yeah,
seemed
it was
like it was
fire.
kind of a simmered down, quieter year. And that's the same with Star Wars. There really wasn't a ton of Star Wars there other than the publishing. But there's definitely some things I want to go over, because there was an emphasis on Lucasfilm Animation, as was the case in Celebration. They had a panel in Celebration for the 20th anniversary of Lucasfilm Animation. They had an entire, they do this every year. They have this area on the expo floor that's designated as the Lucasfilm Pavilion. Every year they put on a different like exhibition displays and stuff. This year it was like celebrating Star Wars animation. So they had everything from the Clone Wars to Resistance to Bad Batch to Jedi to Tales of the Jedi, all the different Tale series. But it was neat because they have, as the thumbnail of this video shows you, like they have different maquettes and different physical models for the actual shows. Like Star Wars Resistance was a show that came and went, but I respect that they even had it there, because that's often overlooked and not really talked about. They had an actual scale model of the Fireball, Kazuda Xiono's ship, with another ship next to it. I thought that was pretty cool. But the big thing here, and the reason why I'm highlighting this, is there were 2 images that were shown that were never before seen from an upcoming project. The first one is good old Ezra Bridger for season 2 of Ahsoka. And my goodness, he looks just like him. You see the side-by-side shot, and it's like, wow, this is they got the right actor. I mean, obviously we've seen him already in season 1, but I mean, this is good stuff. Like, down to the scars right on the cheek, really really good stuff here. So starting off with this image here, I'm gonna get it up on the good old YouTube here in a moment. Did you guys get a chance to look at this image? I know we're just looking at a single image, but this is what
I haven't seen it yet. Did you throw it in the chat? Because I can look at it
yeah,
right now.
I'm gonna throw it real quick in there as soon as I can get it in there.
Yeah. But no, like, I mean, just to discuss the actor himself, like, I think the casting was perfect. I mean, from last season, it felt like Ezra Bridger. His mannerisms very much reminded me of the animated version of the character. Um, I'm just curious to see how they're going to flesh him out in season two, because you have to talk about what happened to him at the end of Rebels. Like you have to acknowledge that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have. I mean, and you would think there'll be some type of like residual PTSD for him being trapped for 5 years away from all his people that he's known and stuck on this planet and being constantly being on the run from
Almost 10, I think.
what was it 10 years? Yeah, you're right. It would be
I
10
think
because it was
it was before A
right.
New Hope, and then you got 3 or 4 years for that, and then plus 5 for
Plus
the
five,
Mando
yeah.
area.
So yeah. So he has to have PTSD and trauma dealing with running from oh my god, blue guy, Thrawn. You
Thrawn.
know, for like the so it's like you would think you have to acknowledge that. So because when we saw him, I will say my only default, and I think that was I guess a disappointment about season one of Ahsoka was how he didn't really seem different. Does that make sense? Like he didn't seem different
Yeah.
from the version of himself than he is now. Because it's like if you, Ben, or myself went through some type of, I wouldn't say tragedy, I would say trauma or a sudden change in your life where you're going from a hero of the rebellion and then being warped away into the outer rim, you can't get back. Your attitude's going to change. Your mannerism's going to change. You know, your viewpoint on life is going to change. He seemed kind of like, just joking around, laughy. Just been avoiding these guys for the past 10 years, but all's good. No, am I wrong?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very much like, oh, this is the Ezra we've last seen in season 3. Yeah. By the way, the actor's name is Aman Asfandi, and I do have the image up for you to check
Yes.
out, guys. Yeah, this is. It looks like he's on like a blockade runner. This very much looks like A New Hope, like that stark white. He's on obviously a New Republic vessel of some degree, I would imagine, but. Yeah, that's the thing,
Right.
right? It's like he was that moment when they're riding on the wolves, him and Sabine, and she's just like doing like the Cliff Notes version of what happened to the galaxy in the last, 5 years or whatever it's been. It's like, I don't know, it's been longer than that. It's been like 10 years probably since he
Yeah.
left. But it's just running through the laundry list of, oh, the Emperor died, Vader's dead, blah blah blah. Just like, oh, a lot happened since I've been gone. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it was just wild to me. But hey, I mean, hopefully they flesh that out.
Yeah, and when I was at the panel celebration, Ezra's going to have a very large part because, as we know, that the storylines could be split. It's like Ezra and Hera are most likely to be like the perspective of that part of the galaxy, and then you're going to have Ahsoka and Sabine and Anakin also in that respect. I know, Ben, you had mentioned this earlier in the chat earlier in the week that there was a cancellation of Hayden's appearance at one of the
Yeah.
conventions that was local. I think it was one of the local conventions
Yep.
in UK, because that's where they're actually currently filming too, is in the UK. Different than
Yep.
they did for season one. They were in LA.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's telling
the
there.
convention. Yeah, the convention leaked it. I mean, it was a Manchester convention, and they literally said Hayden had an emergency nighttime shoot for an upcoming project he's involved in. I mean, what else would that be? Obviously, it's Ahsoka. So yeah, I mean, you got that, and like you said, you have this stuff with Amon, and I think the image of him looks really good, and it's like you said, Chris. It's kind of like looks like a blockade runner, which presumably he's going to be involved with those types of things because he's in the known galaxy, and it's going to be interesting, like just the way Dave talked at Celebration with we're going to have war in the main galaxy, and then the stuff going on in Peridia. And I mean, even on Instagram, I think I sent Milton the clip. I mean, he's been like really training like his lightsaber skills. It looks more prequel-esque, like more
Ooh.
acrobatic, which kind of fits that era since he like grew up with Kanan being his master. So
Mm-hmm.
like, he has kind of that skill set to be more acrobatic like. So it's exciting, and I can't wait to see what he'll be able to do with it, especially like being involved in the main galaxy. And I'm interested to see the line they walk with Ezra and the crew, because like you have the stuff going on in the main galaxy, but like I wonder how they're going to work around the original big three, because like are they going to just be off chilling on Naboo
Oh
during the events of
yeah.
this stuff? So it's just I'm it's going to be fascinating to see how they work craft this whole story
Yeah,
with these characters.
yeah, that is a really good point. I somehow never thought about that. It's like you have an Emperor caliber villain running rampant through the galaxy. Luke Skywalker's just not going to be sitting on his butt doing nothing, right? Like this guy is involved. Like I'm reading the comics right now, and this is after the Battle of Jakku, so it's like we're like almost 2 years after Return of the Jedi. And Luke Skywalker is very much a part of the New Republic. Like he is very involved. He has a squadron of his own X-wings. They're going around, trying to investigate this situation with these pirates that are amassing and separating themselves in a whole sector of the galaxy from the New Republic, attacking New Republic vessels. Like Luke Skywalker's like he is there. He is very prevalent. People know who he is. So like yeah, you can't really, you gotta be able to explain that. But go into the real world stuff of like the production. I'm excited because they basically, from what I understand, they are working with the Andor team on Ahsoka 2. Like that same crew is basically just transitioned. I think they might be using Pinewood. Like they're like as as the guy from Jurassic Park would say, we're sparing no expense is what it sounds like when it comes to season 2 of Ahsoka. So
well,
Hammond,
they should,
John Hammond.
Well, they should, because if you guys think about it, I mean, as of right now, this is the last Disney Plus Star Wars show for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
So they might as well go all out with it. And hey, if the Disney Plus Star Wars shows aren't working as well as Disney would like, might as well go out swinging. Might as well give it one final good shot.
Yeah, yeah. But another show that is also in development, and this was the last piece of the pavilion, like the last chronological thing, because this thing is currently being worked on as we speak. And that is Maul Shadow Lord, as you see here on the screen. We got our first official rendition of Darth Maul in this very dark series. What strikes me from this is just exactly the theme. This is going to be a very dark show, both visually and figuratively, right? Like we see Darth Maul in that kind of classic Darth Maul pose, very imposing, got the double blade ignited. We clearly see his bisected body with like the harness thing that keeps his robot legs to his torso. Like this is that Maul that is pretty much closely after the Clone Wars when you've seen him running away on Malachor from Ahsoka. So there's so much to say. There's so much to do. What could happen? I'm honestly surprised we didn't get an official trailer this weekend from this for you guys. I haven't seen it. I think most people, if they want to see it, they've probably seen it by now unofficially. But I mean, I'm ready for a release date. I'm ready to see like the dominoes to fall for 2026 for Star Wars, and seeing like, all right, is this thing coming out like before Mandalorian and Grogu? Afterwards, I keep saying, I would love this thing to drop in the beginning of January, like Bad Batch did. Just tide us over until Mando and Grogu comes out would be great. But just looking at this image, Ben, again, one image, we can't really glean anything from something like this. But there's just overall hype about this show. I guess we could reevaluate that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for the show. I think it's going to be really good because, I mean, we know by the way they've worded it, it's multi-season, so we'll be getting, plenty of Maul content during this time period. And it's going to be interesting to see what his mission is, really, because, obviously we know he eventually gets to the whole Crimson Dawn thing. But it just makes you wonder, because with this show taking place where it takes place, and, where we last leave off with him fighting Ahsoka, he was trying to recruit her to take down the Emperor and Vader, basically. So my thing is, are we going to be having him like scheme up an attempt through this show to try to go back against the Emperor maybe one more time or something, or Vader one more time, and like, maybe we finally do get the matchup that fans have always talked about, Vader versus Maul, to some extent, and maybe Maul. Of course, we know Maul would have to escape, but maybe that's where this is leading with him, where we're going to get that carryover motivation that he had at the end of Clone Wars.
Yeah, I think Crimson Dawn would be a great place to start. The way that they build up to it in Solo is always so brilliant with this. They're beating around the bush with the ladies telling this tale of a what's happening, or actually it's Memphis Nest. It's telling the tale of like people took out their tongues and the five houses or whatever, the five ruling families, and all this kind of crazy lore and mythos being explained. And it was Maul
Right.
the whole time. How does this thing build up? So how with Milton, as far as you, first of all, what do you think about the image, and then what's your overall? How excited are you for the show if you are?
Yeah, no, look, I'll address the image first. The image is fire. It's Darth Maul. I mean, who don't like him? If you don't like Darth Maul, something's wrong with you. Yeah, and I'm
It's
saying
true.
it. Something's wrong with you. You just don't like darkness in your heart. But it's a great image. He looks great. I love the animation. This is the animation that we love. I see no reason why this should be a trash show. You don't mess this up. And we all know Filoni and Sam's working hard on this, so it shouldn't be bad because you know damn well Sam's going to be like, nah, that ain't right for the character. Dave, we need to do this. Yeah, you're right, Sam. Let's make a pivot here. So it shouldn't be bad. I'm excited. I think this show will work. I would love to get three. I think 3 seasons would be appropriate, maybe 4, depending on what you're trying to tell. Obviously, you got to go and talk about Crimson Dawn and how he got that going. You may have him try to challenge Vader, but honestly, I don't think that's even necessary. Just because we all know what would happen with that. Like Vader will wipe him out. So maybe he plots to take on Vader, and maybe Vader just counteracts that whole type of attack, and you never see them together, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But I just don't see it having to be him versus Vader. We know the outcome. We know that won't end well, and he never really mentions it. That if I can remember, he doesn't mention it in Rebels at all, does he?
Yep, nope,
He just
nope, nope.
acts super scared.
That's what I was about to say. So basically, in the Malachor
He just
episode,
meant
Twilight of the Vampire,
he's worried about him when he shows
yeah.
up.
So exactly. So my
Yeah.
point is, why is he worried about him? I think he fought him
So
once and got
yeah,
his butt kicked, and now he's like, oh crap, he's here. I got to get the hell out of
yeah,
here. This guy's too powerful, kind of thing.
yeah. Or maybe like I said, he plotted to try to take over. He plotted to try to get at Vader, but Vader wiped out Crimson Dawn for all we know.
Yep.
You
Or
know what I'm saying? Like,
What if Vader kills that red apprentice potentially of his that he has
yeah.
in this show?
Oh.
So I'm just saying. I think the payoff would be let's see why he's so worried about Vader, and let's see it from a perspective of this is real fear coming from Maul. Not that he beat me, fear is that oh no, I witnessed Vader not wipe out my apprentice, but he wiped out my entire organization to where I knew I had no chance of even challenging him. Like
Mm.
I would love to see that. I mean, imagine the fear. I mean, that's how we view Vader in a lot of ways. You can see him and you're just like, whoa, something's not right about this guy. Or you hear people talk about Vader, you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with old boy. He's a little too much for me. So I like to see that from Darth Maul's perspective. If we get a fight, great. We know how that ends. But be creative in that storytelling about why he's so fearful to challenge Vader, or if he did try to challenge, what led to him to say, "Hey, I'm gonna back off and just kind of go in the shadows."
Mm. Yeah. What I like
Um,
about the go
yeah, go ahead.
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, this is why I think this is the Star Wars that we want as fans, and I'm gonna just throw a quick soapbox out there. People who say that, you know, fans that complain about the state of Star Wars now, they're like, "Oh, you're racist, you're sexist, you're a homophobe." No, no, no. It's not that. It's that you're giving us trash, inconsistent projects, but
Yep.
stuff like this is what we want. This type of stuff we've been looking for. Just the design is beautiful. Give us the storytelling behind this, and you won't have a problem with us. Has nothing to do with your politics, nothing to do with your religion, your sex, who you like, who you don't like, who you voted for. It's about telling great stories, giving us the characters we want to flesh out more. That's what Star Wars is doing with Dave Filoni and his crew right now with Darth Maul. They're giving us a character that we already know, but they're fleshing him out to say, hey, let's fill in the gap and tell a great story. That's what Star Wars should be doing the whole time. So small soapbox, but I wanted to say had nothing to do with who you are and what you look like. Just tell great stories.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Completely agree with you.
Yeah. No, that's actually, you hit on a couple points I was going to mention as well just now. Is like the idea of Yeah, like Lucasfilm is really good at telling stories about characters of fates we already know. I mean, look at the Clone Wars. We knew what was going to happen with Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan and everybody else. And you had a couple new characters thrown in there that we were like, oh, okay, what's going to happen with them? So it's like the idea of, like you're saying, there are moments where it's like, how does Maul get to Malachor? Like, how does Crimson Dawn start? Why is Maul afraid of Vader? Like, there's a lot of questions here. Even though we know the fate of the characters, a lot of other interesting tidbits. And as I've been
Right.
saying now, it's like we look at a lot of these series, they're called something, and Andor's the prime suspect. Like, the show is called Andor. You might as well call it Dawn of the Rebellion because you have all these ancillary characters, side characters, new characters, old characters we know that get extremely layered and fleshed out. So as Ben said, there's the red skin Twi'lek that some of us seen in an official trailer or unofficial means, but like I could clearly see that character, and there's I think Fennec Shand. It's been so long since the trailer. I think
Yeah, I think
just
Fennec was in it.
bounty hunters of some degree because you're dealing with the underworld, right?
Right.
So you're going to see characters. I can almost bet that Cad Bane's going to show up somewhere in this. Heck, maybe Boba Fett. Maybe this is where we'll finally see Boba
Maybe.
Fett after all this time. I was hoping to see him in Bad Batch, darn it, but that never happened. But yeah, I mean, the show can't come quick enough. Again, I'm very
I'm watching
surprised.
it. Like, you already know I'm all about it. We're watching this. We're reviewing it every week.
Oh
So
yeah.
you guys already better tune in.
This-
And here's what's. No, go ahead.
This seems like such a fan fiction show, right? Like, oh, we're getting
Facts.
a Darth Maul series where he's gonna just be tearing people apart every week. Like, who would think that they would greenlight this? But they are. So I'm like, okay, here we go.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing with this coming year, I was talking to my buddy about this over the weekend. This coming year for Star Wars to me is kind of like a big olive branch year for Lucasfilm to the fans of like, all right, we've tried to do like all these projects, whether it be this or that or the other thing, let's just give you guys like a year of Star Wars stuff that people at minimum should like generally like. We got Maul, we got the Mando movie. Say what you want about hardcore Star Wars nerds overanalyzing whatever the Mando movie is. The general
Right.
audience is gonna love it, I'm sure. And then you got Ahsoka, which is for especially the hardcore fans that are really inside baseball stuff. So like it's 2026 is a really big kind of like olive branch year for Lucasfilm in all aspects of animated, live action TV and movie alike. So I think it's going to be a really nice year for Star Wars overall for just like kind of like how DC's heading in a good positive direction overall critically and fan wise. And I think 2026 will be kind of like the Superman year for Star Wars, where like it may get Star Wars back to a pretty overall positive vibes where it's not like super contentious.
I think that's a great. I think that's a great and fair point to make. That 2026 could be that year of bounce back and of credibility being gained by the branch of or by Star Wars and Disney. I agree with that 100%. I think that's why you need characters like this. You need stories like this. And again, we're not saying as guys who are talking Star Wars just to say keep recycling. That's not how creative things should work. You shouldn't just keep recycling, but give us something that's obviously new, fresh, and that feels very similar to what you started. You know what I'm saying? Like look at Superman. Everyone gets mad about how Zack Snyder portrayed Superman. Look, I love the Man of Steel version of Zack Snyder, what he did.
A lot of people don't though.
But a lot of people don't because they love Christopher Reeves. You know what I'm saying? Like so give us the comic Christopher Reeves realism of the real world feel of Zack Snyder, but also respect the overall lineage of what that character is. Same with Star Wars. George Lucas, who's at Comic-Con now, set a tone back in 1977, 78 of what Star Wars should be doing. He did that from 77 to 2005. And what sucks is he got pushed out the door because fans were like, no, I can't deal with this prequel shit. And then it's like, okay, you asked for you ask for what Disney gave you, and then you guys are the same ones who are like, oh, I can't stand them leading all these females, and blah blah blah, politic type shit. And it's like, wait a minute, like you can't, like, come on. So it's either one or the other, and I'm glad that Disney Lucasfilm is starting to say, you know what, let's just get back to storytelling. Let's get back to just telling good Star Wars stories and fleshing out characters, and then start expanding the worlds as we move forward into the next 20 years of the timeline. I'm like, I love that. Let's get back to that.
Well, Milton, they got the orders from the top. Bob Iger himself, when he came back last year, he literally said, we're going back to making storytelling the priority. And it's like, so that basically implies before that they had other agendas. So it's like, it's nice to see them getting back to that grounded level of like, hey, let's just build a solid story and see what happens. And look, the funny thing is when they do that, look at this year, Thunderbolts, even though Thunderbolts didn't make a lot of money, people really liked it. Fantastic Four, people enjoy it. So from what I've heard,
right.
And Disney seems to be getting back on track with their brand. So like, it's just going to bleed over into Star Wars.
Right. And I'm sure Chris can jump in and agree on this. The animations is where they actually do the best work when it comes to consistent storytelling.
Oh yeah.
And it's like you guys have the model there. Like no one craps about the Tales of the Jedi series and all that stuff. Everyone's like, great, keep bringing them. Visions. Everybody's like, yup, this is Star Wars, keep doing it. So go with the model. There's no hidden agenda there. There's no politics being pushed. There's no weird fundamental way of like, hey, let's just make people feel weird about this. No, it's storytelling strictly. That's all it is. You guys got the model. Get out your own way.
There you go. Oh man, we're getting fired up here, guys. We're getting fired up. First show back in a while. You gotta love it. This is why we do podcasts, isn't it? This is great.
No, I mean, and look. I was acting like this tonight because literally I got into a discussion with a friend of mine a couple of days ago about this, and I told him, I said, I'll be back on my friend's podcast and we'll talk about this further. But it's like, it's okay to look back in the past to see what worked and how we can bring that to the forefront. It's okay to be progressive and move forward in storytelling. It's okay to reflect real life themes into your storytelling of, make-believe stories that we tell. However, people want just the simple things when it comes to their storytelling, whether it's in Star Wars, whether it's DC, Marvel, Harry Potter, whatever IP you love. Just tell us a story, make us feel like we're there. Don't be weird and cagey with the weird message. And trust me, we will be reunited and united as one if you just do that.
There you go. It's as simple as that, folks. It's as simple as that. We just want great stories. Speaking of more stories, we have publishing stories. We're going to breeze through this because we got to talk about George Lucas. And I have a time limit because I'm actually going to be going and seeing, as Ben mentioned, Fantastic Four as soon as we hit end record on this. So we're going to breeze through these. Don't worry, guys. There's barely any new stories coming out. I hate to say that, but that's the truth. We got an update on different titles of the different release dates for the Mask of Fear trilogy or the Reign of the Empire trilogy. So we have those books coming out. The big thing here is we are getting a Star Wars Outlaws tie-in novel next year. And this was announced the same day that we got the announcement, the unofficial but probably official announcement that they're not going to have the sequel of the game anymore. So this is one of those really odd times where it's like, oh, we got a cool novel, but who really cares that much because the entire franchise is essentially dead now. So, man.
Did you hear what the CEO of the gaming company said about why the sales didn't work out? Did you read about that or hear about that?
I was going to mention that. Yeah, Yves Guillermo.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Yves Guillermo basically blamed it on the Star Wars franchise, saying like, the Star Wars franchise as a whole is down right now. I'm like, what? Like, you're going to blame your failure of a game on that? Like, I'm sorry, your company is the problem. Do you know how much flack Ubisoft gets? Every Ubisoft
Yes.
game feels the same. People are tired of the same formulaic
So,
gameplay.
this goes back to my original point. I've said this literally since we've been doing the podcast. The gaming for Star Wars and any company that they work with, besides um, the Jedi Fallen Order series, has been horrific. And
Yep.
this proves it right here because literally the CEO of that company is going to blame Disney Lucasfilm, which they do have a part to play in it. However, you guys rushed that game out. It was so
Yeah.
buggy.
Yeah.
So buggy. I've talked to so many people who are like, dude, this game doesn't play that great. It's super weird how it moves, blah, blah. I'm like, you rushed this game when you should have probably taken another 6 months
Yeah.
to get the bugs out, to get the drive right. Like,
Yeah.
come on, like stop. Don't blame Disney Lucasfilm because your technology was sorry. Like Disney played their part in how they did their movies and storytelling, but you can't put this on them.
No.
Your company is not great right now.
No. Look at Jedi Survivor. Look at Jedi Fallen Order. They came out at times
that's
where
what I'm
the
saying.
franchise could have been deemed as not great right now, and they sold millions of copies. So
Sold out. Yeah.
Yep.
And here's the thing: I was just playing Jedi Fallen Order today,
Ooh.
slowly playing it back again. But like, it's freaking nice. So like, don't tell me, well, when it's successful, oh no, that's us. But when it's bad, oh no, we got to blame Bob and
Yep.
Kathy and all those guys. No, that's on y'all. You guys are sorry.
Well, that's the problem in general with this whole thing with, like you said, with the gaming. Even there's a lot of branches over with Star Wars as a whole. It's like there's a lot of, it's always like blaming Star Wars or blaming the fans for lack of project success, whether it be games or movies or shows or whatever. And it's just like these gaming companies as well as Star Wars itself sometimes just has to self-reflect, and it's like, hey, look at what you're doing. Don't look to the customers. The customers are the people who are paying your checks. So it's just it's just funny. Like I said, when I seen those comments, it's like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I also think one of the big deterrents for me to even get the game was it's just like, when you hear open world Star Wars game, it's always like, and not as like a hardcore gamer, as a general Star Wars gamer, I guess I would say. You want a game that's like open world. Like I imagine a game like, I don't know, this could be like Too Far, or it's kind of like what's the game that you play online, Chris?
The Old Republic?
Is that sort of, yeah, like I think of something like that where it's like, oh, I could load into a server and go find Milton and Chris roaming around Alderaan or something, like during the original trilogy time, or Endor or whatever. And then we get this game and it's like even my cousin, he texted me when this game came out. He's like, "Oh, another single player Star Wars game." Like,
yeah, true.
Like we need an open world Star Wars game that's like online where you can hang out with your buddies and stuff. And I think the best experience of that was the the whole Fortnite Lego thing, Star Wars
Right.
thing. Like,
that was cool.
Like that was the closest thing to open world Star Wars.
How about the how about the Hogwarts? And doesn't Harry Potter have that current game that's out?
Oh, Hogwarts Legacy is amazing.
Yeah, that like just like that.
And that's single player though, and they still managed to make that
single
game
player,
great.
Still made a lot.
But they still made it great. But that's what I'm saying though. Like they made it single player, but it still got that very real world feel to it, where it's continuously world building.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, listen, guys, we'll come back to this one later because we have to talk about George Lucas. I got 5-6 minutes to talk about him, so I want to make sure we get there.
Yep.
So George Lucas, for the first time ever, if you can believe it, actually showed up to San Diego Comic-Con this afternoon. They actually opened up Hall H. They never do this on Sunday. They usually don't have Hall H panels, which is the biggest room for all the biggest movies. Marvel's in there, and Saturdays usually. Anyway, they open it up. Queen Latifah is the moderator. He's also got Doug Chang on the panel, as well as Guillermo del Toro. And the whole purpose of this panel was to talk about his new Lucas Museum opening up in LA next year. big undertaking. I think that thing, Milton, costs like over $1 billion or something. I'm not even exaggerating.
Yep.
Like, it is a lot of money. And if you've seen like the specs of what like it looks like some building from Camino or something. It's like very
Nice.
like off-worldly, like crazy architecture, very like rounded edges. Like, it looks freaking nuts. So like, first of all, the things that they're gonna have there, a couple details is there's gonna be a life-size Naboo starfighter, a life-size General Grievous on his wheel bike, original concept art for Indiana Jones, vintage comics issues for Marvel and DC, a mythology exhibit with early stories from Egyptian, Greek, and Roman gods, his own Frida Kahlo paintings. It's got 2 theaters, 33 galleries, and then an event venue with a library. So like, this is some of the stuff that's going to be included at this place. And he was there, and it's cool because obviously he was there because like, he doesn't really make a lot of public appearances anymore. And so when he's somewhere publicly like this with people watching, it's like, okay, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna say? You know. So at some point, you know, unfortunately, Ben, I don't think anybody live streamed it because my friend was in the room from my tractor beam co-host and literally took a picture and said, you cannot live stream it here. So it's like, oh, dang it. But discussing film on Twitter was able to, I guess, be okay to take video snippets. So there's one clip here of George Lucas talking about what art means to him. And this is, quote, "I think it's more about a connection with the work, not how much it cost or what celebrity did it. It's more a personal thing. If you have an emotional connection to something, that's art." And then and that's quote. But then he also went, because I listened to the whole minute and 36-second blurb that I also linked in a chat here for us. He also says nobody else's opinion should skew your idea of what you think of as art. And that's like really powerful because gosh, the fandom wars, man. I mean, we talk about the people online saying you're wrong for liking this and you're a terrible person for thinking that way and whatnot. And Lucas is just saying no, because he's the first person to experience this nonsense. And Milton, you talked about this earlier about all these freaking people basically making him quit the movie industry because they're terrible people.
Yep. And those are the same ones who are now mad about how Star Wars is now. So this is on you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy really, and I'm gonna just keep it quick here. This guy really gave us something special. And look, I hold on to it very much, and I'm glad he's saying it because he's right. You know, and hopefully we can get back on track. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I completely agree with both of you. I think first of all, it's great seeing George out and about. Anything with George, it's great. Like, keep getting videos of him, people, because he is 80. He turned 81 this year. So, you know, keep. I think he just turned 81 here in May or June. But yeah, he he's getting up there, and it's great. It's great. It's a great piece of advice because it's true. Like, look at me. I genuinely. This isn't me being like a Disney hater or whatever. Like, I genuinely enjoy Star Wars Legends material more than a lot of 90% of the stuff we've gotten from Disney, which is fine. Like, I just like that media better. And, you know, it's my own view. Or like Chris likes the High Republic a lot, or Milton likes, you know, like the old gaming, like Force Unleashed and stuff. And it's just all your media that you like. And like, it's great hearing George say that because a lot of people nowadays have that mindset. I mean, we see it online right now with the Superman stuff. You know, it's like the Snyder people versus the James Gunn people, and it's like, people, at the end of the day, I just like Superman. I don't care who made it.
Yeah.
So it's just it's cool. It's cool hearing George pretty much say that and talk about it.
Yeah, man, it's cool because of course, man, it was classic George. I seen pictures and obviously the video here. Wearing the same thing we see him wearing for the last 50 years. He's got the plaid shirt, the blue jeans, the sneakers on. I'm like, is he cosplaying himself at Comic-Con? That's just what he wears every day, no matter what.
and that's why he's a billionaire. he's like, I'm wearing the same old stuff I wore in 1975, and I'm wearing the same old cheap, dirt Rolex that's probably $15 out of the candy machine. Like, he's like, yeah. And that's why I can spend $1 billion on this museum. Like, he's good.
For context, that's as much as an NFL arena to build, by the way, people.
Facts. Yeah,
oh
good point.
My gosh.
Yeah.
That's insane. So we're going to leave it there for everybody, ladies and gentlemen. But it was a pleasure being back on the podcast with you two fellas. Good time as always. Milton, where can the people follow your exploits online, man?
Yeah, they can follow me on Twitter or X at Milton Weber 7 or on Instagram at Milton 7 Weber. Come check me out. Talk Star Wars, talk pop culture, talk about life, fitness, whatever. Keep it positive, but I appreciate you guys listening and watching. So can't wait to continue to do this as the summer goes on.
There we go. And Ben.
Yeah, you can find me talking about pretty much the same thing, pop culture or fitness and those sorts of things at Real Ben Maynard on Twitter and Instagram.
Yep, and you can find me right here on youtube.com/Starrapter, where I have a couple of new Star Wars books that are coming out in the next couple of weeks. We got a Bad Batch novels, guys. We also have a, believe it or not, an Acolyte tie-in novel that's coming out on Tuesday, so look out for my review on what I think about that Jecki and Yord team-up novel pre-Acolyte, so we'll see how that goes. Also, The High Republic, you said it, Ben. The High Republic ends on Wednesday. Can you believe it? Like, there's one issue left, and then the whole thing's done with for now, they say. For now. So at least the first portion of this story that what got told like 4 or 5 years ago at the beginning is going to come to an end on Wednesday. So look out for my review. And again, me and Matthew will be back. I believe we'll be back on Wednesday if everything gets okay with him. And he's
I'll
back.
throw it out there into the universe. I'll throw it out there into the universe real quick. When you say for now, I think they say that because they're going to just continue whatever the Acolyte was supposed to be in the next phase of the High Republic.
Let's effing go. That's the same thing I was thinking about. Me and Matthew were talking about that. So let's wish it into existence because that would be pretty freaking cool. I want to know more about Plagueis and Vernastra and Yoda and all those guys. And the Stranger. Oh my gosh, they're releasing I didn't even talk about the Black Series stuff. So there's so much to talk about. There's a new Black Series Stranger figure coming out, everybody. But anyway, we could talk about maybe that more next week. So for Milton, for Ben, for Chris, aka Starrapter, this is going to do it for episode 203 of Outer Rim Transmission. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy summer. Until next time, may the Force be with you always in transmission.